Hey everybody, we're back at it again. Another video. This is actually a haircut I did on my cousin. First off, I always start any haircut by prepping his hair. Even if I cut his hair before I prep it, I comb it, I see how it reacts before I do anything. I cut your hair a million times, or for the first time, I'm doing that every time. And he's just getting a taper, not even on the back or anything, just taper on the sides and basically connecting that to his beard. I'm setting up my guideline and giving it a little bit of a curve. And for me, consultation with haircuts is very important, right? Like, initially he wanted just a shape up, right? And I'm telling him, like, you might as well just get a taper. Like, a shape up is like, it's cool, but in my opinion, it's not really going to do much, right? It's not going to last. I told him just do a taper, and I'll basically try to keep it as low as possible. That way, like, I don't really cut off any of his actual hair, because right now his main goal is to just grow out his hair, and he was with it. So kind of give it this arched look, just to make the taper pop out a lot in the center, but also keep it a little bit lower. And after that, I cleaned out that bald guideline, which is pretty much going with the shaver. Clean out the bottom of the fade as much as possible. And whenever I do this, like, it makes it a lot easier for me to visualize my fade. Like, in my opinion, with any haircut, if you can't visualize it, it makes it a lot harder for you to bring it to life. Like, you have no guidance, you have no end goal of what you're trying to do. You're just trying to figure it out as you go along, and that makes it really hard. Sorry, got thirsty. But yeah, having that end goal definitely makes it a lot easier to execute what you're doing. And like I said, I knew what I wanted, I knew what he wanted. I'm trying to keep it low, and I did everything very mindfully, even to the way I set up that guide, how I'm like taking my time spreading out that blade open. And so far, right, I just did the blade open and blended into it, and you could see already, like, there's clearly still a line, right? Clearly still needs to be blended, but with just the blade open, like, I'm already almost blended into that bulk. And the main reason why is because I'm just using a lot of corners, even when I'm setting up my guide. That just makes the overall blend softer and easier to, I guess, condense while still giving it a stretched look, in my opinion. Like, I don't want the blend to look really, really condensed, but at the same time, I am trying to keep it as low as possible for my client's needs. And at the same time, I'm blending in his beard. With my processes, I do switch it up from time to time, but if I'm trying to be efficient, if I'm behind the chair, it's a busier day, I try to knock out one area at a time and just really stay consistent, honed in, and clean up that one area. That way I'm not wasting as much time going back and forth. I feel like when I go back and forth, I lose that visualization, like I was telling you. I'm not able to see the end product because I'm going back and forth to two different sides of the heads, two different tapers, and yeah, like, it's not that big of a deal, but for me it is, because no two sides of the head is the same. So if I have the vision on this side, I might as well just take care of that instead of going back and forth and kind of losing myself, losing my tracks. But yeah, sorry about that, I was rambling. But I took out the one guard, blended that with the half guard, and now I'm using the 1.5 and pretty much blending into that bulk. And like I said, I switched to the 245 clippers recently. When it comes to these sabers, the 1.5 guard was like the highest guard I used. I want to say 80% of the time. 80% of the time. There's a few times where, I might use a 2, a 3, maybe even a 4, but very rarely. I feel like the 1.5 was all I really needed. And especially, I'm pretty sure I was using a Babyliss 1.5. With the sabers, it's been a little while. But that 1.5, for some reason, like, you're able to just scoop out a lot easier with it, in my opinion. And same thing with the beard. See, like, like I was saying before, right? Efficiency. I have a guard. My mentality is I want to use that guard until I can't use it anymore. Once I can't use it, on to the next. And in my opinion, that saves me time because I'm not going back and forth with, guards or with the levers or anything like that. I'm just using it until I can't use it anymore. I find no purpose for it, and then I move on. And that right side, oh no, that was his left side. So his left side was pretty much finished at that point, so I'm moving on to the next side. Yeah, I need to detail it, but, for me, I detail at the end of the haircut. As long as it's a really good rough draft, that's what I'm looking for. So here, we're going in the same thing, blade open. And the lighting is way better on this side. You guys are able to see it a whole lot better. But blade open, just really going in there with the corners. And then blade open again. Corners, watch. Yep, close that lever. Corners. You see I'm just using the corners. And you can tell how easily this is just being blended into that shape. Like, pretty smooth. One open. And a lot of barbering, a lot of kind of hair is just rinsing and repeating. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again, which is good because at the end of the day, if you're just starting out, you're going to get it eventually. You just got to keep on doing it, and eventually you're going to find your rhythm. You're going to find your consistency. You're going to find what works for you and what you could do over and over and over again and get good at it, because that's how you master it. You master it by doing the same thing over and over and over again, getting your reps in. And right here, I'm really just detailing as I move forward. I took the blade off, the one guard off. I'm holding it actually in my other hand. Look, yep, just popped it right back on. I knew it, see? So, if I see a little line or a little detail, I have the blade open at all times to kind of clean that up. So I'll just take my guard off, hold it in my hand, clean it up, and then put the guard back on. That way I don't forget about it. I just take care of it in the moment, if I can, and if it makes sense. You know what I mean? If it makes it more efficient, I'll do that. But like with cutting hair, like, you're not a robot. You're not gonna do that every single time. You got to be more open-minded with it. And boom, again, 1.5 guard open, blending into that bulk and slowly closing it. For me, honestly, I blend down for the most part, as in like start off with the blade open and slowly close it until everything is blended. That's my typical method for the most part, except for when I'm working with the blade open, like that guideline. That's the only guideline I blend up, and I don't know, it just works for me. It helps me visualize it a lot better. I don't know what it is. And see, right there, took off that one guard, held it in my hand, snapped it back on. Look at that. That right there is a little trick I picked up, and it has saved me so much time in my haircuts just because I'm not walking away, putting the guard away, and then coming back. And those few seconds you'll save in between haircuts or during one haircut, they add up. And also, too, taking a look at his lineup, right? As you can see, I'm just barely tapping it. And I'm not gonna lie, those sabers, those things make pretty good lines. And the main reason why I also save detailing for the end is because, look, once that line is on any haircut, right, the fade just looks different. You could see where it's complete, where it's not. And also, too, now that I lined it up, that taper looks a lot lower, and not gonna lie, it looks really crispy. I'm not gonna lie. Right here, look, see, I'm just barely tapping the front. And look, just taking away like those little small baby hairs you could barely see, fills it in and keeps it like pretty much as natural as possible. But yeah, like I'm saying, after you line everything up, you're able to see it a lot better. Like, yeah, you have an idea of like how it's gonna look, but you don't really know until you line it up. Like right here, as I'm lining up, and you see the edges, how when I line it up, it just softens that center of the fade, well, taper, whatever you want to call it. Same thing in my opinion, just different name. Either way, the hair is being faded or being tapered. But yeah, now that center's being softened up, and I could see where I would want to go in with the blade open or half guard. Like, I don't know, in my opinion, with detailing, those are the two things I use the most. I'm not really using a half guard, a one guard or one and a half, unless necessary. Also, look at that. Like when it comes to shapeless with me, I try to keep it like it's natural. I just try to barely tap in. Look, that's all you really need to do. Like, you're good. You don't need to go crazy. And also too, yeah, with any line, right? Like his front line and everything. Look, I'm just trying to keep it as natural as I can. At the end of the day, like the best advice I've received when it comes to lineups, in my opinion, like I heard it, I'm like, wow, how did I not think of it, right? Like, the goal isn't to make the line as sharp as possible. That's just a bonus. At the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, 9 out of 10 clients would rather a straight line rather than the sharpest line in the world. So once I heard that, I was like, why am I worried about really getting the sharpest possible line? Like, 9 out of 10 clients, that's not what they really want. They just want their hairline to be straight. Like, I'd rather have the most straightest line in the world rather than the crispiest. It could be crispy but crooked. Nobody wants that. And even with the, around the ears and everything, like, just taking my time trying to just take off the very edges. It's funny, like, as a kid, when I used to get a haircut, I used to always think like, the barber's gonna chop my ears off whenever he did this. So like when I first started to like learn how to cut hair, this right here was like the scariest thing in the world to me, until I realized like you're not gonna chop someone's ear off. Like you really have to. I don't think you could do it with a trimmer, to be honest. Even if you force it, like you just pressed it into the ear, you'll cut it, but you're not cutting that thing off. Definitely not. Like the technology, like it's just made to be safe. But yeah, you see me just cleaning up the line right there around the neck. And also that helps to bring the taper together as well too. You could see like everything. Like if you tapered out the back and kept it low, that would look really nice too. But like I was saying, he's planning to grow out his hair. He wanted to grow out everything pretty much. So I was telling him like, if you grow out the back and then you eventually like braid your hair or something, like some people do that, but some people prefer to have everything braided. So I'd rather give my client that option. That area that I tapered, like some people have their braids that low, but majority, like they at least have that part of their sideburns tapered out. So, I kind of, gave him that recommendation. And at the end of the day, like, people also come to you for recommendations, not just to like cut their hair. Like sometimes they don't know what they want to do with their hair. And it's your job to help them figure that out, what they really want, That's why they come to you. Other than like the actual haircut itself. They could go to any barber and get a taper or whatever. But you really could separate yourself from everyone else if you're telling them, what they need, or listening to them and trying to figure it out. Like, what do they need? What do they like? What do they want out of the actual haircut itself? But yeah, man. These sabers right here, like the precision ones, they did damage. I definitely really love these trimmers. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm just reminiscing right now. Haven't used them in a while. But those are definitely some hitters for sure. Like, you see that? Yes. Oh, and I forgot to mention, like, my client right at the back of his neck, there was a little bit of a light spot, so in the center. So I tried to keep everything as natural as possible, as low as possible. So I kind of lined it up to the point where that center light spot would have been a strong edge, right? I could have brought it up a little bit more to make the edge stronger, but at the end of the day, I want to keep it fuller for him. And also too, I don't know, like it looks like I detailed the taper a little bit. I might have not been able to record it, but yeah. No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't. But yeah, right here I'm going in with a 2-guard closed and just like skimming his beard just to get rid of like the flyaway hairs and everything. And number 2-guard is like best for that. And then right here I'm doing it with the 1-guard open, I believe, or closed. Not too sure. Closed, yeah, closed. With the mustache, I prefer to do the 1 just because the hair is thicker, and then the beard, I'll do a 2-guard. With that mustache, though, typically most people, their mustache is thicker than their beard. It's just natural. The hairs are pretty much coarser. That's why anytime you're using a razor on someone's mustache or a trimmer, it's a little bit harder to get that line. Or not harder, I would say harder to get the line with a razor, not a trimmer. And then I just skimmed it a little bit, free-handed it, and right here I'm going in with my trimmer. I love to do it upside down and look directly at the client as I'm doing it, just to really give it a good symmetrical shape. And like, I don't know, all my lines, just try to keep it natural. And then with beards, right, you could get a little bit more unnatural with it in a way. Like, for example, I know a good amount of people who like their mustaches really skinny. Others, they like it really natural, thick, and for that, I would just use a razor and clean up the line and not even use a trimmer if they want it. Like, now I personally prefer it where it's like, it's not skinny, but it's not thick. It's just like cleaned up. I use the trimmer and then the razor, like what I'm doing now. And then with other people, they like it super like pencil thin. I'm definitely using a lot of trimmer and then cleaning up a little bit with the razor. And also too, like, when it comes to beards, that mouth area, I would say, like, that I kind of just cleaned up is like really important to get symmetrical and get down. That's what really like makes your beard stand out. And also this bottom line right here, keeping it very straight or round, like whatever your client wants, but keeping it just very clean definitely enhances it. Because look, once I bring this together, right, once I clean up that bottom line, you'll see how everything looks fuller, darker. Watch, when I clean that up, looks like a whole different beard on the right side compared to the left side. And look, right there. That beard just looks a million times better just by doing that alone. But yeah, I didn't clean up the like curve of his beard or anything, just the center and that, and you can already see the difference in the weight. And now I'm just cleaning up that back line and keeping everything as wide as possible square. Like, you see the shape, that outline, like that right there makes a world of a difference on someone's beard. And granted, like, and looking at it on, they're not really going to see it, but it does make a difference. Right here, I'm going in with the razor. And I'm really just taking my time. And I try to focus in on, like, that mustache area first, as you could see. Like, that corner where the mustache and the beard connect. Like, I'm telling you, if you focus in on that area and focus in on, like, where it connects to the taper and then connect it in the middle, one, you're setting 2 great guides, because one is right by the corner of the mustache where the client is going to look, and also to the end point, right? When you connect that end and beginning point, it's bound to look symmetrical. And also too, you can repeat that on the other side. That's the main thing. You have something as a reference for both sides to help you with that symmetrical look. Right here, I'm just going in with the razor again against the grain, trying to clean up as much of the hair as possible. And right here is where you really could, make your line sharp. With the trimmer, like I said, I try to just make the line as straight as possible, not sharp. In my opinion, that's what the razor is for. And this right here, right? I know a lot of you barbers struggle with this. I've struggled with this for the longest time, but tutorial's almost over. I'm gonna have to save you guys that tip for the next beard. I won't forget, trust me. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it.